Let's talk about the inner workings of AI agents. And fair warning, this video is going to be mostly rooted in theory or the theory around AI agents because I want to be rooted and create a baseline for what I believe and what I want to build this community around in terms of what AI agents actually are. So, as I'm actively learning about all of this technology and things of that nature, I want to set a base level for everything in this video. And if you are looking for more code than anything else, sorry about that, but that is not going to be a part of this video. If that is not what you're looking for, no harm, no foul. We're still friends. However, I just wanted to level set that before we get started. If you are looking for code though, that is in the wings. I do have a video planned about that as I'm learning about this tech literally every day, almost every hour of the day. I do have a video planned. So if you want to stick around for that and be notified when that actually comes out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell notification, and let's get started. That said, let's talk about what AI agents actually are. So the biggest question, what are AI agents? The folks over at AWS define AI agents as a software program that can interact with its environment, collect data, and use that data to perform self-determined tasks to meet predetermined goals. Over at Oracle, they define AI agents as software entities that can be assigned tasks, examine their environments, take actions as prescribed by their roles, and adjust based on their experiences. Then over at Google Cloud, they define AI agents as software systems that use AI to pursue goals and complete tasks on behalf of the user. They show reasoning, planning, and memory, and have a level of autonomy to make decisions, learn, and adapt. Then over at Anthropic, they define AI agents as fully autonomous systems that operate independently over extended periods, otherwise known, or they also like to call this, agentic systems. So in general, humans define the goals, but the AI agent then takes that into their own ballpark, which is largely powered by LLMs. Then it decides how it needs to take action on tasks to carry out a specific goal. For example, let's say we were a manager or an executive of a call center. We could deploy an AI agent to take calls from customers so that we bring down the wait times for the end user. The goal is for the AI agent to answer questions from these customers that don't readily need a human interaction, which actually might lead into another question of how in the world do we actually know when a human needs to step in. For the most part, that would be something that you, as the crafter of the AI agent or agentic system, as Anthropic likes to call it, that would be something that you would have to figure out. Now, there are a lot. If you look around YouTube, there are a lot of opinions in this area in terms of how you should build these agentic systems. But me personally, I would err on the side of actually being able to code it if you have the skills to do so technically. However, that also depends on whether or not you have a very tight deadline, and if you do have a very tight deadline, that then means that you probably would want to go with a no code or low code situation. But again, if you can swing it and you have the technical know-how, I would always say being able to program this in Python, TypeScript, or what have you would actually be in your best benefit because it gives you way more flexibility and granularity with what's going on inside of your agentic system. As a plot twist in that same area, that would also mean that you would need to have well-versed base knowledge in the domain that you are actually building for. For example, I'm currently, at least as a recording of this video, attempting to create systems for insurance agents and their marketing. But I really couldn't build those systems successfully unless I had boots on the ground around me and also some of my own experiences. But if you're also like me, you may have also wondered what's the difference between AI agents or agentic systems, AI assistants, and bots. So an AI agent, and this may be an overgeneralization, an AI agent is autonomously and proactively performing or has the ability to perform tasks autonomously and proactively, so that you don't necessarily, as the human, need to always step in, but you can if need be. So in that token, it can perform complex multi-step tasks. It then also learns and adapts and makes decisions based on the input that it was given. An AI assistant is slightly different, although it sounds like it's pretty much in the same basket. It's slightly different, and you would probably want to think more along the lines of Alexa or Siri. So it can take some basic instructions and then does some things that you as the user told it to do, but only after you basically again gave it specific and strategic instructions. So for example, telling Alexa to dim the lights. And then a bot would be, or at least in my opinion, a good example of a bot would be a Twitch bot. So again, if you have a Twitch channel and you wanted to greet new followers when they actually hit the follow button, you could set up a bot on Twitch for you to do that, and it only is going to do that particular thing and nothing else. So now that we've talked about the inner workings of the AI agents, what they are and all that kind of good stuff, let's talk about the many different facets and ways that an AI agent can actually show up. By the way, this is not an exhaustive list that I'm going to talk about here, but there are some great articles, and there is a specific article that you should check out from multimodal.dev that I'm going to link in the description. But here though, I'm going to talk about 3 that actually stood out to me. And the first one is a simple reflex agent that, as the name suggests, allows you to perform some very basic tasks that you would give it. And this probably is one of the more suitable agents that can hit and tackle a bunch of different things, because as Anthropic has said, it's probably best to go with a basic model or no model at all in terms of an AI agent. But in the case that something does need to be more sophisticated, there are other agents there are other architectures for agents that are out there. But in a case of a simple reflex agent, an example of that would be basically, again, if I go back to my own example from earlier, I'm building AI agents or attempting to build AI agents for insurance agents. And one of the things that I know that an insurance agent would like to take off of their plate, the communication between client and insurance company, so that when a claim has to be submitted, it doesn't need to be an endless phone tag situation. It could literally be a stream of text or emails that tell the client where their claim is from start to finish. Then the next iteration that I want to talk about is utility-based agents, which work towards a goal using utilities or a preference scale. This utility function allows them to handle tasks with a bunch of different inputs, hopefully giving them the ability to solve the problem with a bunch of different solutions. And the inner workings of it allow it to create or understand which is the best overall outcome for the task at hand. This next example is probably a little bit of a left field type of thought, but you could probably give this type of an agent or agentic system to, or incorporate it inside of an investment situation or an investment bot, so that it can learn from the data that is given. That said, it will need a lot of good data from something like Polygon and your own stock data. But again, this is not financial advice, by the way. This is a slightly simplified situation, but building one of these would probably be a lot of fun, but also nerve-wracking at the same time. Then lastly, the thing that's probably the most popular among everyone so far, at least in this year, is multi-agent systems, which would then consist of several AI agents working either together or against each other to create a particular outcome. So an example of that would probably be the ability to give your agentic system a bunch of different MCP servers or MCP server tools, so that it can learn from all the data that is put in, and then if it's working together, build up one cohesive system. Or if it's trying to go against each, or if it's an adversarial type of situation, one of them would say, yes, this is the way that we need to go, and the other is fighting against that. At the end of the day, the one that wins out is the result that you could possibly get for that particular situation. So now that we've talked about all of the things that an AI agent is, what the inner workings are, all of the different types that are out there in the wild, Where can you find more information about this stuff? I'm glad you asked. So here's a list of resources that I've found so far that may serve you well. And I'm going to also put some others inside of the description that hopefully you can find good use for as well. So on this list, and again, this is not an exhaustive list, but MIT courseware is where, again, is a good place to start. Then UC Berkeley's CS 188 course is another place to start or supplement the learning from the MIT course. Then deeplearning.ai is a really good resource because it has a bunch of different things and it's powered or created by Andrew Ng. UMass Amherst CS683 course, and then multimodal.dev and composio.dev as well. So hopefully this video serves as a baseline for you if you are starting your journey on learning AI agents and everything that goes around them. My current task is to learn as much about this stuff as I possibly can. And if you want to go on the ride with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you like this type of content. And if you want to see an actual MCP integration inside of Cursor, go ahead and hit this video over here. The video that I was talking about earlier is on the channel. It may be showing up right now in terms of an actual coding portion of how to create an AI agent, but that's still being worked on right now. But if it is up, go ahead and hit that video over here. And until next time, y'all be smooth, blurred out.